Hi everyone, Cardi Black here and welcome back to my channel. So for today's tutorial, as you can see, we're going for a very simple kind of drag look. This look can be achieved by anybody really. This is a more neutral kind of take on Valentine's Day, with the neutral smoky eye, the very vibrant red lip, not too much going on, but enough to keep them interested. So if you would like to know how to get into this Valentine's Day glam, then please keep on watching. Hi guys, so I've already gone ahead and done my eyebrows off camera. I do this because, like I said in other videos, I'm a drag queen. I need to cover the brows, I need to do them all separately to what anyone else does them. So we're going to jump in and do some primer. I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Prep High Definition Primer. We want to use a smoothing blurring primer for this because we want the skin to look all blurred and smooth, because when you're on that date you'll want to look all smooth up close, won't you? Yeah. So I'm just taking this into my hands and just rubbing it all over the face. So for foundation, we want a full coverage foundation. We want this entire face to be covered like a mask. We want no pores, no creasing, no blemishes, no crap, no shit on your face. So I'm going to go and use the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Foundation. This is super full coverage. It's a drag queen foundation, so this is going to just cover everything that we need to cover. And in today's video we're going to be using the new Morphe Jeffree Star brushes. I got these the other day. They're now out of stock, so don't bother trying to ask where I got them or how much there was. But we're going to be using this today, and for the foundation I'm going to be using the brush JS1, which is this foundation brush. You're going to want to take the foundation on the back of your hand and then blend it out onto the brush onto your hand. This is just going to warm up the product a bit better, so it blends out a bit better on your face. And this is also my first time using these brushes as well, so it's kind of a review as well. So I'm just going to buff this into the skin. Oh my god. So normally I get a beauty blender or a big foundation brush where I swipe it on and then blend it out. So this is the first time I've ever done it. So first impressions so far of this brush. It's actually a hell of a lot easier to blend out with this brush than it is with any other foundation brush I've got. So the foundation brush that I use normally is this Morphe foundation brush. It came in a pack, so it doesn't have a number on it or anything, but this is one of them that you'll swipe and then blend with a beauty blender. I've also got this Wilco brush, which is also more of a swiping and then buffing in, whilst this one you just dab and buff in as you go along. And it is a lot easier to blend out the foundation, and it just looks better. I don't know the details, but it just looks better with this brush. So first impression on the brush, might as well do a review whilst we're here. It's really good at blending out the product. It's made me look completely poreless. I do have some cracks up here, but that's just my face. But it's blended it out really well. The only problem is it eats up a lot of products. I had to go in and pump loads more foundation and blend it into the skin. Might not be the brush, might be the foundation, but that's just how it is today. So now we're going to go and use some concealer. Now I actually have 3 concealers here because I don't know which one I'm picking. But I am going to use the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I'm using this just as a base to conceal and highlight where I want first, and then I'm going to go in with some white concealer and help brighten the under eyes. This is also a full coverage concealer, which is very helpful, especially on Valentine's Day. That sounds really corny, doesn't it? So we're just going to put this obviously under the eyes, forehead, chin and on the nose, everywhere you want to highlight and bring out. I'm also going to put some concealer just there, because this also, what people do forget is that your upper lip comes out as well. It's not, you know, it comes forward, so do your cheekbones. So you have to blend all this together to make your face look rightly proportioned. I'm going to put a little bit up here because the temples do come out here as well. You want them to look 3-dimensional, not flat faced. Thank you for watching my tutorial. This is a completed look. This is my contouring brush, which is from Morphe, from the same pack as the other foundation brush. That's Jeffrey's contouring brush. No, no, I'm not using this for contouring. I'll find a way to use it, but I'm not using it for contouring. No way. So I'm going to take my Revolution F105. I think it's out of stock, it's very, very old. And I'm just going to take some of this cream contour. So I'm going to contour under my cheeks, my forehead, the jawline, and I'm going to get onto the nose later with a different brush. To blend this out, I'm going to take my Real Techniques, I think it's a body blender. It's a bit too big to be a beauty blender or a face sponge, but I'm using it anyway. Obviously going to wet it with some water. Just going to blend all this cream contour out. So as I have just discussed with my partner, this contour cream is not going well with this foundation. That's what happens with makeup. Just have to move on with it. It's true. So we're going to go and set the face. Now I'm going to use a Give Face Cosmetics translucent powder. It's in a Revolution Pro container, because the Give Face Cosmetics containers are really hard to get all the product out. So I'm going to take this on a beauty sponge as well. This one I use specifically for translucent powder, so it's very dry. I'm just going to get this and I'm going to place it where we highlighted there. Now I'm not going to let that bake because I don't bake with powder. I just think it dries the skin too much and it leaves a, well, it's supposed to leave a white lightened cast, but it just makes me look grave ready, really ashy and disgusting. Now I'm going to take the JS2 brush, which is actually for dusting away your bake. So I'm going to take this and dust this off. That brush actually worked really well for that. I don't think you need to make an entire brush just to do that, but it's very good for what it does. So now I'm going to take this big fluffy powder brush from Wilkinson's here in the UK, and I'm going to get some more of that powder and I'm just going to powder the rest of the face. So now we've set the face with powder and brushed all that away, we're going to actually go in with more powder. Now I go in with a lot of powder because I am a drag queen and I like to look very full coverage, but also using a full coverage foundation, full coverage concealer, contour, everything, you're going to create a lot of texture on your face, such as these lines up here, lines here, creases under there. So using pressed powders that are also full of pigment will just help smoothen the face out. I know that Kylie Jenner's makeup artist, Ariel something, who also does the rest of Kardashians, he taught in his masterclass how to use lots and lots and lots of powders instead of more full coverage creams and liquids and stuff. And that's just a perfect, he uses it more in photos, but it's a perfect way to make you look seamless and smooth and blended and all that stuff that you need. Also using a lot of powder will help set the makeup in place. We're locked in all night. Trust from a drag queen, we know how to keep a face on all night. So I'm going to take the MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC30. It's not really my shade, I do need another one, but it is the most full coverage pressed face powder that I have. So I'm going to take this on a Morphe, just a firm buffing brush I guess, and we're just going to place it on everywhere that I didn't highlight. Again, I am pressing this into the skin, buffing it in. If I start swiping, because it's powder, it's just going to swipe straight off. And now we're going to go in with another powder for highlighting our highlight areas. I'm going to use the Primark My Perfect Colour Mattifying Powder. This is £2. This is like £25, this is £2. they do the same thing. I'm actually going to take the JS3 brush, that weird little contour brush that we mentioned earlier, into this highlight powder, because I think this is actually the perfect brush for pressing this. That's just my preference. I like brushes like this to use as highlight powders. Using this brush you can get right under the eye where all the creases and bags are, and just press the powder on and make them go away. You can also get that really clean line of highlight up here. So now we're going to go and put some bronzer on, some powdered contour, and I'm actually going to try this new, I can't even say it, HonnaLulu bronzer by W7. This is obviously a dupe for the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I really like the Hoola bronzer, but it's like £22 and this is £3, so yeah, I can't bloody get it open. I've just ripped it. I've just ripped the base off. Ugh. Oh, there's a little seal. My bad. HonnaLulu. That sounds like hula. God. They don't give these brands space to breathe, do they? It's got 2 seals on it. Is it? I don't think it's supposed to open the way the Hoola bronzer is. Oh, it comes with a brush. Oh, that £3 luxury. And it comes with a little case. Bloody hell. £3 gets you a long way. Oh, it comes with two seals. That's just unnecessary shit now. Although the pan isn't actually in the box, but it's not. It's like just shoved in. So I've never used this before, so I may look orange. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of pigment. Nope. Just gonna blend this where I put the contour. I'm quite scared. Ooh, oh. Why is it? Come on, work with me. Let's try it on the other cheek, because that cheek's just crap today. Let's get my mirror. Let's see what I'm doing. Today's just not the day. So my brush just did this. Thank you, Murphy. Thank you, bastards. So now we're all contoured. I'm gonna go and contour the nose. I'm gonna use a different powder because this is a bronzing powder. Don't want my nose to look orange. For my nose contour, I'm actually gonna take the JS6 brush. This one right here. I think this is kind of like a packing brush or a deep crease brush or something like that. I'm gonna use it to nose contour because I think it's just the perfect shape for that. I'm gonna take the shade Fawn from the Anastasia powder contour kit, the perfect shade for nose contour. And to highlight the bridge of my nose, I'm going to take this white pressed pigment here. This is from the BH Cosmetics Contour and Blush palette. I'm going to take this on a pencil brush. So now I've contoured the nose, we're going to go and jump into blush. Now I did buy a new blush today. This is a how do you say that? Urily. I'm going to take the Urily, this blush, it's called Peach Sparkle. I don't own a peach blush, so I thought I'd go out and get one. Why not? This was, the woman said £2, it didn't have a price tag on it to be honest, but she said it was £2, so I paid £2 for it. We're going to actually take the JS2 brush, which I think will be a perfect brush for blush. I don't have a blush brush yet, so I might as well use this one. I'm going to very lightly take this, because I don't know how pigmented it is. Yeah, onto the apples of the cheeks, blending it into the contour ever so slightly. Okay, that's too light coverage. So now we've done the blush, we've done all the parts of the face except highlighting. I'm going to do that after we've done the eyes. I just like that as a final touch. Just that. It's just better to put it on after we've done the eyes. So I'm going to set my face now because I've put loads of powders on. I want them to blend into each other now, and then we'll set it properly later. That blush is quite nice. Little peach sparkle. So now I'm going to start doing the eyes. I'm going to do a smoky eye neutral cut crease combination with a red lip. So I'm going to jump in with the P. Louise base first. This is the P. Louise base Pro in the shade Rumour, number 2. This is a bigger version than the original one, just because I'll be using it a lot. I'm going to take it on this flat eye brush, which I use for eye primers. Take this on the back of my hand first, which is recommended by Mitch. Warming it up on the back of the hand, and I'm going to place this all across the eye, up to the eyebrow and out. Now, first thing we're going to do with this eye is actually highlight the brow bone. I'm going to take the white shade from the BH Cosmetics contour palette, the same shade we used for our nose highlight, on the same brush. I'm going to place this just underneath the arch of the brow. So now I've highlighted the brow bone, we're going to go and do our crease first. I'm going to be taking the Beauty Bay Identity palette. Now this palette has exploded apparently. Now this palette has got 42 colours in here. I'm going to be taking mainly all these neutrals up here and some down here maybe. Just go with the flow. Now none of these shades have names either, so I'm just going to go with what it says here. So like this one, I'm going to say transition free. That's just how this palette works. So for our crease colour, I'm going to go with transition number 5. This one right here. I'm going to be taking the same JS6 brush that we use for our nose contour. I'm just going to be blending this into my crease. To blend that out, I'm going to take the JS5. This is another eyeshadow crease brush with no product on it. I'm just going to blend out the edges of this. To deepen that crease up, I'm going to take crease shade number 7. This one here. I'm going to take it on the same JS6 brush. I'm just going to be adding this shade into the crease again. Now just to add some more dimension to that crease, I'm going to take the transition shade number 2, this one here. I'm going to take the tiniest amount and just put it in the crease again. This is just helping define the crease, and adding multiple shades just helps to blend better, or else you're just going to have a sharp line and some other colour on top. So take this on the same brush and put it in the crease again. And whatever shade you're putting on the crease, I also put on this little outer V that a lot of makeup gurus call it. It's just this outer point in your eye. I put it a little bit higher up because I want my eyes to be a bit more higher and less droopy. So just adding it here is going to help add to that smoky eye effect. Also, another tip, I'm actually going really light-handed with this brush. I'm just ever so slightly feathering it into the crease, because this palette is so full of pigment. If you just go in like that, it's just going to create a whole lot of mess. So just feathering it in ever so slightly, and you'll automatically get that blended crease look, and you won't have to worry about it all later on. And every time I'm adding a shade, I'm also blending out with the JS5 brush. And for the final shade in the crease, I'm going to take liner shade number 7, this one here. I'm just going to see if the shade is dark enough, because if it is dark enough I won't need to use a black later on. Just taking it on the same brush, just adding it at the outer corner first, because this shade is so dark and full of pigment. I don't want to add it to the crease if it's too dark. I'm just going to test it on the outer corner first, because we're going to blend and smooth that out in a way. Now that shade is actually too dark to put into the crease, but when I put it on the outer corner, I did blend it just a tad into the crease here. That's just going to make it look more blended and more seamless, instead of having just random lines everywhere. So now I'm going to go and cut the crease. To cut the crease, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Pro Supreme Matte Lip Pigment in Psychedelic. This is just a pure white lip pigment. And I'm just going to take this like this and put it underneath where we want the crease to be cut. So now I've cut the crease, I'm going to set that with some translucent powder. I would normally use white, but we're going to add some shimmer. And if I put a white pressed shadow there, it's just not going to work as well. So I'm going to go and put some translucent powder on it. Normally I would keep the base wet, but because this is a white lip pigment, I don't want this wet because it will never dry and it won't go well with the shadow. I'm just going to go back and blend some of that darker colour, wherever my brush is. I'm just going to go and blend this darker colour that we used before into the lash line, here and here, and also blend a little bit over here as well, just to help it become more seamless, because now I've cut the crease, it just looks a bit sketchy and weird. So I'm going to go and blend that out. So for that lid colour where we cut our crease, I'm going to be placing the shade highlight number 2, which is this white shimmery shade here. I did do swatches of all the other shades, but well, as you can see, a lot of them are very gold, brown, pinky hues, and I just didn't want that. So I'm going to be placing this white highlight shade just where we cut the crease. So that little highlight shade was not very shimmery or bam in your face, but that's perfect because we're going to add a product on top of it in a way to make it all glittery and shimmery. So we're going to go and use the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Diamond Dust. I paid £25 for this, might as well get the use out of it in every single video. I'm just going to be putting this where we put the shimmer. Some days it works and sometimes it doesn't. So now we've done the sparkle, we'll call it. I'm going to go with some liner just to line the top of my lash line. Not doing a wing because I'm crap at wings and it's a smoky eye, so perfect excuse. I'm going to use a Revolution Renaissance liner. This is a felt liner which is very thin. This has actually become my favourite liner. I used the Kat Von D tattoo liner, but it dried out in like 2 weeks. This one has stayed as it is, so I like this one better. So I'm going to start by just lining the lash line, then I'm going to create a little inner corner cat eye moment as well. So now I've done the liner, we need some black eyeshadow in these corners just to help blend it. I'm going to use the Morphe 35K Coffee palette. I'm just going to take the black that's at the bottom and a Morphe flathead brush. I'm just going to blend out the liner at the corners. So now I've done the top of the eye, we're going to go and do the under eyes. Now with my drag style I do it a little bit differently than normal makeup. I'm not going to do it too dramatic or too draggy, but I'm going to fit it to my eye shape. So you don't have to do this, but I do so. So first I'm going to take some white liquid liner. This is from NYX. It's the white liquid liner. Fits in. So I'm going to put this underneath where the cat eye is, under my waterline, and just finish just there, because we're going to put some more liquid black liner underneath and smoke it out. So now I've let that dry, this is actually going to be my new waterline. Just extending the waterline, kind of like that Bratz trend, just to make my eye seem more open and to give it more definition as well. So we're going to take the same liquid black liner and just go underneath where we put the white. Doesn't really matter how messy you are with that black liner, because you're going to smoke it out in a way, doesn't really matter. So we're going to go and take some of the crease shades that we used earlier and just smoke out the under eye. So I'm going to go with the shade Transition 2, the first shade, well, no, the second shade that we used. And the same brush we used for the crease. And we're going to start smoking out the under eye. We're going to start over here and then work our way slightly into the inner part. Just blend that out again with the JS5 brush that we used to blend the crease. I'm also going to get some of the first shade that we used, which is Transition 5, this one here. I'm going to take this onto the blending brush that we used, because the other brush is full of dark pigment now. I'm going to just ever so slightly blend out the under eyes with this shade. So just to smoke out that liner a bit more, I'm going to take the flat brush and the black that we used earlier and just smoke out the under liner a bit more. Just to add some more definition to the waterline, I'm going to take this Soft Kohl eyeliner pencil by Rimmel just into the outer parts of the waterline. Now we're finished with the eyeshadow part, we're going to jump in with some mascara. For the mascara, I'm going to be taking the Maybelline The Colossal Big Shot Volume Express Mascara in Daring Black. Why did he have such long names on mascaras? It's just not needed. I'm just going to take this, you know how mascara works, I'm just going to put it on my eyelashes. For my underlashes, I have coated a few with mascara. I'm going to draw some on with some liner. That's just what I do with drag. It's just to really pop the underlashes instead of having to stick them on. Because I don't like sticking them on, they're a pain in the ass. So drawing them on helps me a lot. So I'm just going to draw 3 eyelashes in the outer corner just to give that effect. So I've ended up drawing 4 on one side and 3 on the other. That's just how it is. Why not? So now I've done with the eyeshadow and the mascara and the liner, I'm going to go and add some highlight to the face. First we're going to spray the face with some fixing spray. So for highlighter I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Aurora Glow Kit. This was around like £24 in TK Maxx when it should have been about 40-45. So winner winner. I'm going to take this on the I'm going to take this on the JS4 brush. This is the highlighter brush that Jeffree Star has made, so I'm trusting him with this one. I'm going to be taking the shade Luna, which is this white shade right here. I'm going to take it on the brush dry first, and then I'm going to wet it and amplify the highlighter later on. So I'm just placing this on the cheekbones, a tad on the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and the tiniest bit on the forehead. Ooh, I didn't think it would be blue, but what is this shade? Okay, so I'm actually going to take the shade Eclipse because the Luna shade I did not know had blue tones. Oops. So I'm going to take the shade Eclipse and just add that over the top. Now, because this is a Valentine's look, we want very pink, red type tones in the face, and because we've got a neutral eye, we're going to have to use those red tones in the lips and the highlighter. So to add to this highlight, yes, we are adding more to this stunning highlight. We're going to take the Chameleon highlighter Mother of Pearl. This is from Topshop. It's a very pink glitter type highlighter, but it goes perfect over the top or on its own on any highlighter. We're going to also take the shade Luna from the Anastasia Aurora Glow Kit on a pencil brush and just add this to the bridge of the nose here and a tiny bit on the tip. And now we've finished the highlight, we're just going to add the final coat of setting spray. Now we've set the face, we're going to move on to the lips. So for the lips, we're going with a very vibrant red lipstick, but I am going to be overlining lips a lot because I'm a drag queen, that's what I do. So I'm going to overline the lips with a nude liner first, because red is a very prominent, very there colour. Because it's such a vibrant colour, it is very hard to outline with that colour, because it can be it's just hard to outline with that colour. Try it, it's just very hard. I'm going to take this nude liner from W7, the very nude lip twister. I'm just going to go and overdraw my lips. So I haven't overdrawn the lips that much like I normally do, just a tad, because it's red lipstick it's going to be very hard to finesse it into all them overdrawn lines. So for the lipstick I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid to Matte Lipstick in the shade American Doll. This is just a very vibrant true red, which is what we want this Valentine's Day. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to fill in where I lined my lips. So now we've applied the liquid to matte lipstick, we're going to let it dry. And whilst I let it dry, I'm going to go and get my lashes sorted out. I'm going to do this off camera because it's a pain in the ass. So I'll go and get my lashes sorted and I'll be right back. Hi guys, so this is the finished look. This is the finished Valentine's Day glam. I went ahead and did my false eyelashes on the top, put on this cheap outfit. And also put on this very expensive wig that I am hardly taking care of. I hope all you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to see more videos from me then go check out my other tutorials. Thank you all again for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.